All right, let's get right into it. The world of real estate is being shaken up in a big way right now. We're talking about two major legal battles that could change the very rules of how we buy and sell our homes. It involves huge organizations, big tech, and a whole lot of money. So you've probably seen the headlines, but what's actually going on? The entire process is under a microscope, from how agents get paid to the tech we use every day to browse for houses. We're going to break down two key cases that really pull back the curtain on the future of real estate. So, first up, we've got a huge win for the National Association of Realtors, NAR. This case goes right to the heart of how the industry is structured and who has to pay for what. Okay, so here's the central problem, at least according to the people who sued. For a real estate agent to get their hands on the listings, they absolutely need to do their job. It's not just one fee. They often have to pay into this whole chain of organizations. And this is how it works. Think of it like a set of dominoes. An agent needs that MLS data, but to get it, they're required to join their local realty association. And step 3, that local membership automatically forces them to pay national dues to NAR. The lawsuit was all about challenging this mandatory bundle. And just so we're all on the same page here, the MLS, it is the absolute lifeblood for agents. It's the central database of every home for sale in a given area. I mean, without it, you're flying completely blind. So you can see why access to it is such a massive deal. Now, the agents who filed this lawsuit had what they thought was a killer argument. They pointed to that huge commission settlement NAR just went through and said, hey, you've changed the rules on how we get paid, so the value we get from these mandatory NARCs is now greatly diminished. They were basically asking, why are we still forced to pay for something that isn't worth what it used to be? Well, the judge did not buy it, not one bit. The court shut the case down, and the language was pretty strong, calling the claims misleading and contradicted by reality. The judge actually argued that this kind of structure helps competition by making sure all member agents get the same access to the same listings. And this wasn't a one-off victory for NAR. This ruling out of Michigan was the second time in just a few days that they'd won a case like this. Another very similar lawsuit down in Louisiana was also thrown out. It really looks like a solid winning streak for NAR on this specific front. So, as you can imagine, NAR was pretty happy. A spokesperson came out and said their policies are all about fostering competition and are not discriminatory. So, for now at least, that mandatory membership model has weathered a pretty serious storm. Okay, let's shift gears now to our second story. This one's a totally different kind of fight, involving a tech company I'm pretty sure you've used, Zillow. And the accusations are serious. We're talking about breaking federal law. At the core of this lawsuit is a law called RESPA. Now, the whole point of RESPA is to protect people like you and me. It bans things like kickbacks and shady referral fees that can secretly jack up the cost of buying a home. The big question here is whether Zillow's platform has created a system that flies in the face of that law. And as you can see, the two sides are worlds apart. The plaintiffs are claiming Zillow's program illegally pumps up commissions and, more importantly, pushes agents to steer their clients toward Zillow's own mortgage company. Zillow's response? They say their platform actually gives consumers more control and choice, and they've basically called the lawsuit flimsy and thin on substance. So here's a really specific example from the lawsuit. Picture this. You're on Zillow, you find a house you love, and you click that big Contact Agent button. You probably think you're getting connected with the agent who's actually selling the house, right? Well, the lawsuit argues that instead, you're often sent to an agent who pays Zillow for that lead. And here's the kicker. They allege those agents are then pressured to push you toward getting your mortgage from Zillow Home Loans. And this one is far from over. The lawsuit was filed last fall. Back in February, Zillow filed a motion to get the whole thing thrown out of court. But just recently, the plaintiffs fired back, arguing against that dismissal. So unlike the NAR case, this legal fight is still very much alive. Okay, so what do we make of all this? We've got one case where the old guard, NAR, successfully defended its turf, and another where a new tech giant, Zillow, is accused of writing new rules that could hurt consumers. What's the big picture takeaway here? When you zoom out, both of these lawsuits are really about one thing: control. Who is in the driver's seat of a real estate deal? Is it the traditional industry groups? Is it the powerful tech platforms? Or is it the agents and the consumers on the ground? The whole industry is in this massive tug of war over who sets the rules and who profits. And that, of course, leaves us with the most important question of all. With all of these court battles and power shifts, is the process of buying and selling a home actually getting any more transparent, more competitive, and ultimately fairer for you? That is the multi-billion-dollar question that's still being decided, both in and out of the courtroom. Thanks for diving in with me.